everyone, welcome to the next video, and here we go. So we made the first construction sketch, yes? So now we can change the medium, you can do with anything you want, but first, before I'm gonna use, because I'm using the same sketch, which is just, I built before, I will just tonize a little bit, take with the needle gun, a little bit the stronger lines there. So I will just clean my, something for there, but anyway, I will just clean up a little bit some lines which I did maybe a little bit too much, yes, okay. You shouldn't worry anyway, because you can always correct this as things with this eraser, but normally I would do, of course, I wouldn't have to do this because I would do very light everything, but because the camera would not might not pick up exactly what I was doing, so I prefer to just push it a little bit. So I would just kind of turn down this, clean these lines which I don't really need anymore, the construction lines, how it goes. So with this eraser, I just kind of, now I'm using two hands because, I put this car, as you can see, on kind of, stuff. So it's kind of, it's there, but it's not the same exactly position, but anyway. So I clean it a little bit. Of course, you can do it. If I would like to, do this perfectly, I would, of course, clean it much more nicer and everything. But this is just simply to show you, that we have the basic thing. So now I will take, like, for example, I take aquarelle, Albrecht Dürer pencil, yes, with this kind of sepia color, you can see this kind of, this kind of color. And I would try to kind of get a little bit the things, the shape of the car a little bit maybe better. Of course, I am not seeing this car as I was, because in the hand I just moved this, but a little bit that way, yes. So, but anyway, I will try to kind of, base my finished kind of brief finish of this car based on the what I remember about this car. Yeah. So here is a little bit rounded. So I just do first kind of very nice lines, and especially when you do the final, just remember, do the kind of lines, do the lines which are not necessarily connected. Yes, it's because normally if you look at the object, yes, there's always lines, yes, which you have some reflections on those in one way or the other. So you don't kind of add anything really much, just always kind of modulate the contours. And because I have two hands, I can now move the paper, yeah, and I can make it, a little bit the stroke, less or more that way. And of course, I'm going to do it here a little bit. So when you move it, yes, you have much better, control on everything you actually do here. Yes. So you kind of have this kind of, you see a frame here, the other black part of the frame, and it's going somewhere there. Yes. And let's go here a little bit in the windshield in the front. So just kind of, fragmented contours. Yes. And here a little bit, you see this frame a little bit much more narrower than there. And let's go here for the roof. So this is a little bit kind of rounded, this top of the roof. Yes. So just kind of do this stroke a little bit, that way. And you just go with this black frames there, yeah, and you have one of it there, something around those lines. Yes, you have another of it there, a little bit this way. Yes, so you just kind of go and have fun now to kind of put some kind of, some kind of contours. And if you see that the knee, is getting, a little bit flatter, because these aquarelle pencils, they actually very fast, they lose the sharpness of the nib because they're soft pencils. So you just kind of sharpen it a little bit, with the sharpener. Okay, and I have here the good one. Okay, so just go sharpen it a little bit to continue to have always the kind of very light lines. And now I look at the spoiler, so there is the roof going less or more something around those lines, yes. Of course, if you would do this, if you want to do kind of like perfect work here, you would have to kind of go and of course look at the car, all these nuances and everything. But because of the situation, I'm not doing this. Yes, I'm not doing this. So I try to kind of finish as I think it should be. Let's just more. Yes, you have the roof. Here is the spoiler, and you have the other part of the roof, and then you have a little bit something, let's say, visible, a little bit something there, and it's going this way, something like that. Yeah, or maybe it's not as much, maybe it's a little bit much more larger here. Yeah. But anyway, those nuances kind of, you can do it as you're gonna be kind of, trying to get this. I look at the dashboard, so it's kind of, I see some kind of dashboard there. There is a little bit kind of roundness there, and there is another part going this way. There is some visibility of things behind. Yes, the other side. Yeah, the antenna. You have the antenna somewhere there. Yeah, so just kind of get it there. You have some kind of antenna. And now you have this body. So you have the black frame also on the lower part, a little bit, yes. It gets kind of like there, yeah, over there. You have a little bit this part for the, of course, for the gas. And now you have the kind of black, covers of these wheels. So just kind of go and gently kind of put it in there, yeah, in there, something on those lines over here, yeah, and it gets kind of a little bit to that point, yes. Over there it's going to be a little bit narrowish, this part, yeah, a bit narrowish, and I have this lower part of it, yeah, cool. And I have the base, the base, okay, somewhere like this. It gets a little bit rounded here. So again, I have to sharpen a little bit because you see I'm losing the need. Yeah, so just kind of put it there, and at the same time I'm moving the car a little bit. Okay, so that's fine. I like this kind of, inconveniences because you always have to find your kind of yourself in control of the unpredicted kind of, elements whenever you kind of, do something, and some stuff sometimes do not go as you plan. So that's good to be in control. And actually learning to draw, realistically, it allows you to have this kind of control when you practice enough and so on. So anyway, so those are kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the front a little bit. So it's kind of a little bit around it. Yes. Here's some kind of elements there and there. And well, there is kind of the lights over there. So something around those things here and there. Yeah. Well, you have here a little bit the fold, yes, of these things. It goes a little bit this way, and after it gets that way. Over there is the same. So just kind of with the fragmentary lines, yeah, you do kind of, you do this kind of things nicely, yeah. And you have a little bit the boss over there. So just make it something of, a little bit visible there, yeah. Get something of this kind. Yeah, also here you're gonna have some kind of core shadow over there. Yeah, so at the same time you can put some kind of core shadows, yes, on there. And you have some kind of, the ventilation, stuff or something there, yeah. What else? Well, is the front over there. What is there? Is some kind of entrance of the air. Yeah, so and as you sketch it, you see there is not the right angle. You can actually correct this a little bit. Yes, you can correct this a little bit and take it away the pencil. The kind of, you see, actually you can even erase like this with the Kindle gum, because this pencil, it keeps much more, the medium than the pencil. So you can actually have it Here's some kind of wind washer, you know, wind, yeah, it's both sides. One is kind of shorter, yeah, or something like this. I will just kind of, try to kind of make it something there which kind of give the impression that there's some kind of wind, washers there. Okay, what is a little bit here is kind of, also kind of a little bit rounded, kind of stuff there. Yeah, so we're gonna have kind of 1, 2, 3 lines there. And after is the bumper kind of part, yeah, the bumper part. So bumper goes approximately here. Of course, there's gonna be some kind of, few lines here and there. And the reflector. So again, I'm gonna just get, and after I'm gonna try to mark a little bit briefly the wheels. Yes. So just a second, just adjust the car a little bit. Okay. So we do a little bit this kind of like there, yeah, over there, a little bit this way. There's some kind of round stuff there, it's aluminum or something. Yes, you have something here. There. Of course, you're gonna have on those plastic a little bit kind of core shadow. Yes, from one side. Oops, sorry, from one side on the other. The same you're gonna do a little bit here. Yeah, some kind of core shadow, a little bit interrupt between those. Yeah, and maybe now you can kind of get a little bit, do a few lines, a little bit like this. Not perfect, but just a little bit, something like that. So we kind of fill up the black part of it, yes, to give impression that there's some kind of darker parts, yes. You can do this in color with in aquarels very nicely. You can actually put the real colors of the car and everything. So that stuff you can actually, have fun of doing it. But I'm doing just kind of brief, things here, a little bit better than with the previous ones. And you might have some kind of reflection of the antenna, yes, and you can actually have some kind of even, some kind of reflections. So to give the impression that is really blinking there everywhere. Even here, you can have some kind of, lines. Even here, though, this part is a little bit in shadow, so you can put some kind of, few lines shading like this. Over there, you can show that there is some kind of, behind some kind of seats or something. You can have some kind of seats over there. You can have another kind of seats there, and so on and so on. You might have the wheels somewhere visible, yes, a little bit through the glass and everything, yeah. Something around those lines, yeah, a little bit in there. Anyway, some kind of details, yeah, so you can kind of get a little bit the front mask of it there, some kind of something is going there. Now we have the doors, yeah, so we're going to be kind of a bit rounded, yes, over there. And the same is going to be here, yeah, so we have kind of, roundness of these doors. And let me see what is this. Okay, we have some kind of, handle here, yeah. So there is some kind of handle. You see a little bit from the top, so you see a little bit this way, the handle, there's one more, yeah, so a little bit darker here, and that's a little bit kind of, some kind of core shadow for the plastic over there, yeah, and so on, and maybe a little bit something over there, kind of like, shadows there and there, yeah. So also here in the mask over there, you can actually have a little bit, few lines, a little bit this way and this way, so you will feel a little bit much more, of course, the kind of form, profile form in there, and also here you can push it a little bit this stuff here and there. Yeah, I can make a little bit some kind of reflection and yeah, okay, let's go with the wheels. So I'm gonna kind of fake a little bit, yeah, just want to give impression of the wheels, nothing much. Furthermore, over here you can have it actually, oops, sorry, I did this crooked way, but anyway, you can have some kind of shading, yeah. Leave a little bit white, yes, somewhere. Don't shade everything up. Yeah, just leave a little bit white there in there. Okay, so you can even push it this little bit here, yeah. Okay, don't do it too much if you want to, if your intention is to pass with the water things, because if you put with the water, it's going to be, there's a very strong medium, so it's going to be very, you're going to see when I'm going to do this in the moment. Yeah, so a little bit something in the lamp, so they become like much more dimensional. Okay, so little here, little there. of course, if you have intention to finish this as a drawing, so it's a little bit much more work and it's going to be much more in detail and everything. But at this moment, what we do here, we just kind of try to get decent representation of this car. Yeah. Okay. Decent representation of this car, a little bit kind of sketch. And of course, we have this wheel in there. Yeah. Going this way. You know, you have another over there. Yeah. A little bit is over there. You know, so just kind of put it a bit. This you have some kind of, you know, darker of them. And let's do the inside parts over here and there. Yeah. And you have this kind of stuff there. And of course, you can kind of fake a little bit those kind of, you know, nuances there in the wheel. Yes. Yeah, you have the darker here and there and there. You just kind of, you know, give the impression that there's really, you know, and you can contrast. Oops, I broke the nib, you see, so we have to, because those pencils are very fragile, but very pleasant to sketch with. Yes. So you see, from the very dirty drawing, actually we're doing quite a nice drawing. So you don't have to always, you know, have this. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use darker pencil. I'm going to just simply put few lines here. So give some kind of, you know, I'm going to give here to the car a little bit some kind of, you see, some kind of base. Yes, some kind of base. And with the darker pencil, it's the same pencil, but it's burnt sienna. Yeah. So it's kind of like brownish coffee color now. Yes. So it's also Albrecht Dürer. So with this, I can actually, certain things I can push it a little bit, maybe stronger. Yes. In some places. Yeah. Some places. So I have much more kind of, you know, maybe stronger certain things in there. Yeah, maybe here something, you see something here, maybe on this darker parts, yes. On the base of the car, you can push it a little bit, yes, over there. You can just give a little bit much more power, you know, to the lower parts over there. You can actually do a little bit here, a little bit something here, a little bit something there. So you don't gonna do it everywhere, just some places. A little bit here, maybe, yeah, all those parts over there, a little bit here. Oh, definitely here and definitely on these parts. And of course, the kind of plastic bumpers. And actually, bumper is here, but other parts. Yeah. Oh, and these frames. We're going to add to these frames a little bit much more stronger these lines. Yeah, because this is kind of, you know, stronger here and stronger there. Yeah, so just give a little bit much more contrast here and there, and also the contour of this lamp will just kind of much more in shadow, so we just push it there. Yeah, not much to do yet, right? So over there a little bit, yes, you're gonna go and you're gonna kind of put this, you're gonna put a little bit here, and maybe in the lower part there's some kind of division for the, you know, lights in behind here. I'm gonna put it a little bit darker. And here a little bit darker, over there a little bit, yes, over there a little bit. Just kind of, you know, some few things here and there, yeah? Over there, over there, over there, over there, over there, over there, yeah? And maybe a few lines here and there. Okay, well, it's enough. So now, what we're going to try to do, kind of briefly pass, you know, some kind of washing with the water, yeah? So let's see what's going to happen here. You can continue, put even, you know, black pencil now on this and everything. You can mix these things, but what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take the brush, and I'm going to take one thinner one and one much more larger. Okay, and let's try to kind of conclude this sketch. So first, of course, I'm going to go a little bit with the details, and you always keep this kind of, you know, paper to take out the eventually the water which is there. Yeah. Okay, too much and so on. So just kind of check it first. Yeah. Okay, and go. So we're gonna go kind of and gently, kind of, you see, gently go over this. For example, this kind of, you know, Start there, and you leave a little bit light in there, yeah, a bit there, and so on, yeah, a bit here, yeah, you can push in that way, yes, and put a little bit, this kind of, waterish parts in there, yeah, a bit the spoiler there, yeah, a little bit something here, a little bit the front, yes, over there, yeah. So just turn the car and try to kind of, play with it. Since this brush is very little water coming from it, so it's safer to work, yes. And it's always better to have this kind of brush, because this kind of brush would allow you to, of course, have much more kind of safe application of the water parts, yeah, over there and there. So that's something you should, you know, you should actually keep in mind if you do this. Okay, so it's going to be, because it's very easy if you just cannot not careful. Yeah, you might do a little bit, you might overdo it, certain things. Yes. So I'm just leaving a little the white somewhere there. Yeah, and there's the darker part, so I can push it a little bit much more here. This is part, so I do with the tires a little bit that way, a little bit maybe the inside a little bit darker in there. And the same here, a little bit this way, a little bit that way. The tire a little bit darker from this side because it's much more in shadow. It's much more exposed to the light. And now the darker parts over there and over there. Yeah. Okay. So just go, and of course, if, as I said, if you have kind of, if you really want to do it to the perfection, you spend a bit much more time, yeah, in all of this, yes, just kind of washing, you see a bit out there. So you should, this kind of details, of course, if you want to do it perfectly, you need to spend some time. It's not something when you can do it in 5 seconds. But anyway, this is kind of, it depends for the purpose of it. If you want to really kind of, show something, nice and so on. So you're going to spend a little bit much more time on doing this, yes. But if you just want from yourself, study a little bit how you're going to put the shading after or whatever, what kind of reflection. So as you do the cars, there's a lot of reflections there, yeah, in the cars. So we have to take this in consideration, that you're going to have this kind of, necessity, to add some kind of, much more, darker parts or something, yes, over there. So, well, let's do a little bit this part, over there, a little bit something, and a little bit something there. So I'm going to play a little bit with kind of like, you see through the window, a little bit something, yes, to the glass. Yeah, so we can have it, this kind of things, over there, yeah. So that's kind of, board, yeah, over there. Well, anyway, you can, you can have fun to do it perfectly, this, but for our purpose, of course, it would be quite enough. And well, with the bigger brush, you can push and give some kind of surface over there, yeah. Okay, so you just kind of go there and a little bit push, a little bit some kind of behind something, yes. You can actually go a little bit there, yeah. You can actually put the medium, yes, a little bit somewhere. Yeah, this is already broken, but it's going to be enough to finish this video. So you just go there, this, and take it, and then just kind of put some kind of a little bit, you see, some kind of, something behind, yes. So you still can walk, you see, if you just pass with the kind of thicker brush, you have darker things, yeah, you can kind of push it certain things even more, if that's your intention with something, yes. So because it's more water coming, yes, more water coming from this brush, but you have to be careful when you work with the more water, because this is too much, it's sometimes too much, and it might be not, the best thing to, to do. So just to the end, you can actually take some yellow, maybe I'm going to take some yellow here just to finalize this, yeah, briefly. Well, actually I have 2 yellows, okay. So, okay, So you take the yellow color, yeah, and you can kind of, is wet. Unfortunately, I would have to wait a little bit, yes. But I would try a little bit, you see, you add a little bit something there, a little bit something there, yeah. Okay, a little bit in front over here, a little bit there on the spoiler and so on, yeah. So you can kind of, make this kind of, closer to this yellowish part here and there, yeah. So we can put some yellow on this car, yeah, over there, yes. And on this mirror here and there, you can push it a little bit with darker one, yeah, over there, yeah. So you can kind of, play with this, adding a little bit of colors, which you actually see. And furthermore, you might even add a little bit much more orangey, especially over here, yeah. So you can add a little bit much more reddish part. So you're going to have kind of, you see, this part, which is a little bit in shadow, a little bit much more, yeah, a little bit much more reddish and so on, yes. So the same here, the same little bit there, yeah. So there, anyway, there's things to do and play with it. But this is kind of, very kind of close sketch and so on. You can still do some bluish things in here and there. Anyway, it's many things you can still do with it, if you really want to do kind of final illustration, yes. You can even go and put some kind of, dark lines there, so you can kind of even make it stronger, certain things, yeah. You can kind of, in design, sometimes we like to get a little bit much more stronger, lines here and there, yeah. So you're going to have this kind of, you see, much more designy kind of form, yeah, with the kind of, with marker or so, the contours, yes. So they're going to be kind of, much more stronger, yes. So if you're looking for much more contrast, of course you can use either this one, the thin one, or much more stronger, yeah. So anyway, it's still, you see, you can add it here and there, yeah, the things, to make it the contrast much more bigger. But you have to wait until it, of course, gets drier, because like this, it's not the best idea. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that you can still, it's not the end, you can still add certain, lines, make them much more pronounced and so on, yes. So you can kind of really play around, either with the tire here and there, yeah, over there, yeah. So we can add some kind of, strokes in there. So you can do it very clean, or you can do it kind of, after in different way and so on. So that would be approximately, you see, the car less or more done, okay, in this kind of, from the construction lines, yes. I clean it everything and it looks quite decent. If I would have good paper, because look, this paper, you see, it goes through, it's very cheap paper, but still you can do it quite reasonable, of course, sketch of the car and so on. So as you just remember how we did it, this car, yeah, the construction part is much more important to learn how to do this. And any car, you can do it, apply to anything you draw, actually, car or whatever. In my book, which is available on my website, www.pijet.com, in my store, you can buy this book. Those from Montreal, you can buy, of course, the book in the Fine Arts Museum Library. And so that's all for today. And I see you again soon with some other constructions of different subjects. So thank you very much and see you soon.